Welcome to the show. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Azeem and I'm from Slough, Berkshire.
Okay, mashallah.
Yeah, I have two questions for the Sheikh. They are related to each other. And it is actually something which is very practical and the one thing which I have witnessed myself. One of my work colleagues, Sheikh, he is a very good person. He's a practicing Christian actually. And like in terms of public relations, like he don't speak lie, he supports everyone. And he's a very good person in general. That person was telling me that he actually talked to God. Yeah, that's what he claimed. And he says that every day before coming to work, he actually asked God that if there is anything you want me to do today in the name of you. And then he hears that voice in his head. And he can have those verbal what he calls it as verbal revelation. So he
which God
hears
he
that
asked?
voice in his head.
Which God he asked?
Okay. So Sheikh, like he had those instructions and like at one point and the other point he actually have approached me and he goes that Azeem, I have a message for you. Like God has told me to give you this message. Or to deliver you this message. And he actually talked about the illness of my wife on one instance. And it's a very complex name of a disease which she was suffering from. And he actually have mentioned that name. And he goes that the God tells me that your wife has some fibroid. And this is where the pain comes from. And this is what I know by the reports, by the recent medical reports, that yes, he has fibroid. So, and he says that he never heard this word before. So this is one thing. And he's a good person, but he's constantly getting these messages. So this is my one question. The second one, which is related to it, is that there are many people who have these paranormal experiences. Like some says that they can come out from their body. And they can walk out from the body. Their spirit can come out and they can walk around. And some have those near-death experiences. And they see the, some people see the heaven, some see the hell and all that. And all type of people are having these experiences. Like not only Muslims, but also Christians, Jews, and they all have some similarities with each other. So what is the position of these type of experiences in Islam?
Inshallah.
Okay, brother, inshallah. And on your first question, brother, so you gave us this situation. You talked a bit about what this person is doing. Do you want just the Sheikh's opinion on this and guidance from Quran and Sunnah with regards to this? Is that what your question was, the first one?
Exactly. And what is happening with this guy? Like, he is not lying in general. He's a person who speaks truth. So what it is...
MashaAllah, no problem at all, Akhi, inshallah. Stay tuned and we're going to answer the question, inshallah, yeah? Jazakallah, brother Azeem. Allah bless you from Slough, subhanallah. We're going to move to the next caller, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Caller, welcome to the show. You're on the Q&A show at Muslim World. Assalamu alaikum, caller. Welcome to the show. Are you with us? Inshallah. No problem, brother, sister. Subhanallah. Please do call back and inshallah we'll be very interested to hear what your question is. Sheikh, we're going to go straight to the question of
Azeem, because it's very important.
Okay,
before the wind. The issues of the wind is very simple.
No problem, inshallah. Brother Azeem, mashallah, you've been jumped to the front of the queue.
It's very, very important.
So the first question, Sheikh, just to frame that for you, he's talked a bit about his friend at work. And the friend is hearing messages. He's told him things about his wife's health.
No problem.
What is this, Sheikh, according to the Quran and Sunnah?
Okay, I will mention a story before this, then I will give the answer. One day, one of the great shuyukh in India, they told him that one man is flying on the air, sitting down like this, and then he flies. And they told the sheikh about him. And the sheikh went to the place where the man he lives. And he said, show me what you're doing. And then, in fact, the man started to fly. Then all of a sudden, the shoes of the Sheikh goes up and hit him on his head until he goes back to the floor and never fly again. This person, he has a connection to the jinn. Definitely he has a connection to the jinn, and he goes through your heart and taking information from you, then he delivers to you to believe him. To speak to the God, we know how every single Muslim, he can speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the salah. The Imam Ahmad, he said, if you want to speak to Allah, then pray. If you want him to speak to you, read his book. So this is the issues. But anyone telling you information about your life, and he is, as you described, definitely he has a link to the jinn, and the jinn give him that information. We call him, you can make a certain dua, and he cannot get this information anymore from you. Say, Allahumma isturni bisatrika al-jameel. Oh Allah, protect me by your protection. And he will not ever come to you and get any information. I remember in 1992, I was in one of the countries, and they told me there's a big magician. He knows everything about you. He will talk about your problems. I said, he cannot move. And my sheikh, he called me and he said, let's go to meet that person and destroy him in front of everybody, because he was making a big fitna. So we went to him. Before we enter, the sheikh, he told me, don't stop from reciting secretly Ayatul Kursi. He said, don't stop. When you're sitting like this, just recite Ayatul Kursi. And the man, he was like speaking like a child. And everybody looking at him, what are you talking about? This is nothing. You were telling this. He said, then he went angry and he said, I can't carry on like this. Wow. Someone is reciting Quran inside the room. And I was keeping silent like this, just reciting Ayatul Kursi. Yes, so what I did, I don't have the experience at that time. And my sheikh, he told me, you disturb his shaitan, because when you recite Ayatul Kursi, the shaitan will run away, so he has nothing to do. He became like a child. He's speaking rubbish, making mistakes. People, they disrespect him in that, And subhanAllah, since that time I learned this one. Whenever someone is start to tell me something, and some people, lots of people here, the other day someone from Thailand, he said, I can tell you all your history. And I said, fine. And I started to recite that Kursi. He said, you're married. Oh, mashallah, good, you're clever.
You saw the ring on your hand.
No, this is the ring of the Sunnah. So these people, they try to bring some hit for you just to take information, so don't bear him any mind. What is
so Sheikh, also on that point, it's probably worthy of note that the person himself doesn't know it's a jinn who is...
No, he knows. He knows. These people, I know how they communicate, and there is a way... And there is some certain books to read, but it is haram. It is kufr for the Muslim to read it. I know certain books.
Okay. So they do certain things to be able to...
Yeah, when we study in the Sharia, the Shuyukh, they told us about it, just to warn the people from it.
And so there may be people watching the show, Sheikh, who aren't familiar with jinn. So the Muslim understanding of jinn is the offspring of the Satan, Shaitan, and they live in a parallel dimension.
Everyone, he has a qareeb. Like you, human being, Hussein, you have a jinn. Abdul Hadi, he has a jinn. Azeem, he has a jinn. And what's these people, they do? Their jinn, they start to speak to you, jinn, and take your information. Because your qareen is with you all the time.
So in the example that the brother gave there, maybe his wife may have gone to the hospital. May have, the doctor may have...
Regardless.
I mean, the doctor may have spoken and talked about the problem.
Yes, the jinn is hearing, so we'll tell him.
Yeah, and the jinn, and he would have just communicated with the jinn of the lady and got the information. So, and the people looking on I mean, they become amazed and say, oh, how did this person know this? But all he is doing is communicating with his own jinn, speaking to the jinn with the
like,
ladies.
if you remember, like about 10 years ago, a lot of TV channels, they start to say, stand in front, put your hands like this in front of the camera, in front of the TV, and we will read your future, and we will tell you about this. But I said, forget about your hand. He is not reading anything because he will not see anything. Don't tell him your name and your mother name, because this is where the jinn, he will get access. So this is the people, they don't, of course they are out of Islam if they claim they are Muslim, and they deceive you that way by saying, oh, say 100 La ilaha illallah, recite Qul huwa Allahu ahad, then he start to move to the other issues and try to give you the ta'weez and writing triangles and circles and names and numbers.
And weakens your own resolve and tawakkul in Allah.
Yes, yes. This is a pure kufr. It will lead you out of Islam, whether you know or you don't know. So you have to come out of it. It is haram, it is not allowed by any circumstances. You have no way to do this at all. This is the issue.
MashaAllah. Brother Azeem, hopefully, inshallah, that helps with that. Brothers and sisters, subhanAllah, you've got it on Muslim World TV. We're explaining the paranormal like no other channel. Subhanallah. According to the Quran and the Sunnah, this is the explanation from the Sheikh. And I think, Sheikh, one of the key things is to not be amazed by these things, because anything can happen by the will of Allah. Subhanahu. Sheikh, his next question was kind of continuing on from that, is other faiths have these experiences, and maybe like a Hindu or a Jewish person can do amazing things.
Well, as we said, he has a link to the jinn, and the non-Muslim, they have more access to the jinn than the Muslims. So it is nothing
forms of knowledge of the people
yes.
of old to communicate.
They do some certain of exercise, some certain of book they read, then certain of action they need to do, which is insulting all religion, not only Islam, not only Quran. They're insulting Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, everything, Islam, Quran. They have to do that, and they have a gathering twice every year in the world, and there's 2 countries which is very famous about these issues, and all these magicians, they go there and commit more kufr, so they get more access from the shaitan. And if they want to repent, I don't know if you remember that story when a man called Sheikh Abdul Hadi on the TV, and he told him, I have a problem with my mother. And what he said, he went to Hajj, but when she arrived there, she cannot see the Kaaba. And he said, subhanAllah, your mother, she is doing something like over the kufr, like huge and unbelievable. And then she died after that, and they cannot carry the body to the grave. And then an old man, he appeared and he said, recite the Quran and just leave the body and run away. Don't look. And he said, we found the body is burned completely before we put the body inside the grave. And then the son spoke afterwards, and he said, I know my mother used to do a magic and put it in the mouth of the dead people. So when they bury the body, the magic will go inside, nobody will discover. So these issues, it happens a lot, and this country full of these.
Allah protect us from
I mean, it is a very, very bad issues to hear or to listen to or to watch.
Sheikh, we're going to take a couple of callers, inshallah. But before we do, Brother Azeem, hopefully that helps you with regards to that question. And Sheikh has given you a very powerful weapon, subhanAllah. You mentioned today, Sheikh, is the Ayat al-Kursi.
Yes.
That Ayat al-Kursi, brothers and sisters at home, inshallah, recite it regularly. And if you're ever in a situation like this, Sheikh, you
just recite it.
Recite it.
Try with him, just recite al-Kursi, don't stop. And let him tell you something, he will not be able to do that.
And the next 2 points you said, Sheikh, was to not tell your mother's name to anybody.
Yes.
And what was the last one, Sheikh?
To make the dua, protection. Oh Allah, protect me by your protection. Yes, and put your hand You hand over your heart.
Put your hand over your heart.
And make that
Don't
dua.
tell your mother's name and make the dua. Oh Allah, protect me with your protection. And it's fine to make the dua if you don't know it in Arabic, in English.
Yeah, oh Allah, protect me by your protection.
There you go,
Also, all the calls by all languages, inshallah.
SubhanAllah. Allah protect you, Allah protect us, inshallah. We're going to take the next call. Assalamu alaikum.